So it's still below, which it is. And then finally, at this x-intercept of +1, it's back in the positive section. So we have that positive sign. So these intervals, these segments, these test points are used to help us graph the function when we aren't given the graph, when we're given the equation in factored form though. If the function is not, if the polynomial is not in factored form, you will learn that you have to convert it into factored form, because you can't do this, you can't get the x-intercepts without it being in factored form, right? And here we have what's happening at the x-intercepts. So at -2, 0, order of 1, it changes sign. Order of 2, the sign does not change. Order of 1, the sign changes. It's just saying when you go from one x-intercept to the next, because you have an order of 2 x-intercept, the sign stayed negative and negative. It's what we kind of expect. I have a question. Sir, why is there no interval from -1 to 0? So the reason why there's no interval from -1 to 0, -1 is an x-intercept. But my question to you is 0 an x-intercept? If you take a look at this, 0 was not one of our x-intercepts. So you only split the graph at the x-intercepts. They're called critical points. The other way is you're going to learn is when you have asymptotes. But when we get to that, we'll talk about it. Conclusion from the investigation. If you have order, that's fine. Don't worry about the conclusion. You can read that. We're going to move on to the next one. Let's see if we have an example of x minus 3 squared times x minus 1. So we have 0 has a 0 of order 2 at x equals 3. So when they say it has a 0, they're talking about x-intercepts. So remember, x-intercepts can be expressed as solutions, zeros, roots, x-intercepts. So just this terminology. So it has an x-intercept of order 2 at x equals 3 because of that square, and has an x-intercept of order 1 at x equals 1 because there's an invisible one there. So the graph of the polynomial function's sign changes at zeros of odd order, but does not change sign at zeros of even order, because even order is to kind of bounce back. So here we have an example of order 2, -2, 0 is an x-intercept of order 2, therefore the sign doesn't change. It bounces off the x-axis. It's a parabolic shape, quadratic, right? U. Order of 1, it's more like goes straight through, kind of a linear shape. And if you have an order 3, so the function for this graph is here. So you have x minus 1, order 1, x plus 2, order 2, x minus 4, order 3. It has an S shape, like a cubic shape. So yeah, that's what an order 3 looks like. Let's see what time is it. Okay, we still got some time. Example 1, analyzing graphs of polynomial functions for each graph. The last possible degree, sign. So let's do this. So here's the question without the solutions. The least possible degree and the sign of the leading coefficient. How do we figure this out? Well, we know that the graph is going to opposite ends. What do I mean by that? It's going from quadrants. I always forget how to label the quadrants. Is that quadrant 1? No, quadrant 1 to quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. It's kind of like, going in opposite directions. So that is indicative of an odd degree function. So the degree is going to be odd, meaning it's going to be either 3 or 5. I mean, it could be 1, but it's not going to be 1 because we know it has a few x-intercepts. Second, we know it has 3 x-intercepts. 1, 2, 3. 3 x-intercepts. So it has to have at least 3 brackets, factored form. And each one of these zeros or x-intercepts looks like a linear or order 1 x-intercept. If it's an order 1 x-intercept, The reason why I say that is because it just goes straight through. There's no bounce back or there's no S shape. Because of that, I'm going to assume that they're very straightforward function here. So we know it's Q2 to Q4, and we know the x-intercepts are order 1. So the least possible degree is 3. So this could be a cubic function. And leading coefficient is negative. How do we know that? The way we know that is simple. If you look at a normal odd degree function, let's say y equals x, what quadrants does it go through? Y equals x. And if you're not sure, if you don't remember, y equals x, y equals x goes like that. This is y equals x. Very simple. This is the simplest odd degree function, degree of 1. And it goes from quadrant 3 to quadrant 1, straight across. Now, if I were to add y equals negative x, change the leading coefficient to negative, what would happen to the graph? That's what would happen. It would kind of flip. And now this is from quadrants, 2 to quadrant 4. So this isn't just true for y equals x, this is true for all odd degree functions. They always start from Q3 to Q1 if the leading coefficient is positive, but if the leading coefficient is negative, then it's reversed, then it's Q2 to Q4. And once again, this is true for all odd functions. So we know the leading coefficient is negative. That's why we know. The x-intercepts, that's easy. That's -5, 0, and 3. Meaning our factors are x plus 5, x, and x minus 3. So our function can be x plus 5 times x minus 3. We have our intervals. Remember, 4 intervals because there's 3 zeros, so we cut it into 4 segments. The first segment being negative infinity to -5, -5 to 0, 0 to 3, and 3 to infinity. In this case, 0 is one of the key points because 0 is an x-intercept. And you just take a test value, let's say -6. If I plug in -6 into, oh, actually, sorry, we have the graph. We don't have to do test values, sorry. That's if you were given the equation and no graph. But since we have the graph, we can just see that in the first segment, it's positive. In the second segment, it's negative. And that third segment is positive. And then last segment is negative. Pretty straightforward. Now we have another example. Here you can see that both the endpoints of the graphs are pointing up. That kind of looks like x squared. Obviously, it's not x squared, it's different, but it has the same property or trend as y equals x squared. And you can see that it's going up. Sure, give me a moment. Y equals x squared. In this example, this is Q2, this is Q1, is going from Q2 to Q1, and they're both going to the same side, as in they're both going up positive. This is an example of a even degree function. So all even degree functions, y equals x4, also looks like this. So all even degree functions share that property. And if you have a negative leading coefficient, if I put negative x squared or negative x to the 4, well, that just, makes it upside down, makes it a sad face, and they're both pointing down. So in this case, we know that the leading coefficient is going to be positive because both pointing up. List the least possible degree. Well, let's take a look. We have an x-intercept here, that's 1. Another x-intercept here, that's 2. And another x-intercept here, that's 3. But this third one here looks a little bit different than the other two. It's not going straight through, it's bouncing back. So what that means is it's going to be an even degree x-intercept. So it has an order of most likely 2, I would say. So this is an order of 2 x-intercept, this is an order of 1, and another order of 1. So I would say the least possible degree is 4. 4. So 2 x-intercept of order 1, 1 x-intercept of order 2, so the least possible degree is 4. The graph goes from Q2 to Q1, so the leading coefficient is positive. X-intercepts are negative 2, 1, and 3. And the factors are x plus 2, x minus 1, and x minus 3 squared. And for the sign, very simple. So pay attention. We have our 4 segments, 4 intervals. First from negative infinity to the first x-intercept, which is negative 2. The sign is positive. How do I know the sign is positive? Look at the graph. Is the graph above the x-axis or below the x-axis? It's above the x-axis, so it's positive. Then from negative 2 to 1, from negative 2 to positive 1, this section here, the graph, the function, is below the x-axis, so the sign is negative. Then at 1, 3, from 1 to 3, it's above the x-axis, so it's positive. And then finally from 3 to all the way positive infinity, the sign is positive because it's above the x-axis. So did that explain your question? It's the same way how I did it for this example. Let me know. Okay, perfect. Let's see what time we have. All right, we have 5 minutes. I think we're going to stop here. And the rest is going to be for you for Q&A. So I got a question on how did I get the possible degree to be 4? So remember, it's not the answer is 4 degrees. It's the least possible degree. What that means is this function has to have at least a degree of 4 or higher for it to exist. And the reason being is because every time you have an x-intercept, you can count the degrees. So if the first x-intercept is an order of 1, that's 1 degree. If the second x-intercept is an order of 1, now that's 2 degrees. And the third x-intercept is an order of 2, so 2 plus 2 is 4. So that's 4 degrees. At least 4 degrees need to be present for this function to exist, if not more. Hope that explains that. So disregard the first couple of minutes because this is on last year's calendar. But I kept this video just for you to, in case I covered some stuff that I didn't cover in today's video. So I kept it. So feel free to watch it if you want, if you have time. But it's not mandatory. It's not required. Any other questions?